Hello, and welcome to today's video. I wanted to make a video today about one of the real MVPs in the healing process. This is one powerful foods. If you just look at all the different things that it contributes, it truly is like a miracle food. It really, really is. And today we are going to be looking at the humble coconut. I'm going to break the coconut down into all of its different components, and I'm going to help you see how this one food alone is like an angel sent down from heaven to help us heal. It is just amazing. It's one of the foods that I use for one reason or another with almost every single one of my clients. And I'm going to break down all these different food components, all of these different ingredients that coconut oil makes, and it's just going to make so much sense to you. So if you're ready to become a coconut fan, just like myself, let's get started. First of all, let's look at coconut oil. Not only is coconut oil one of the best source of calories that you could possibly eat, this is because it is literally one of the only plant-based sources of saturated fat. And saturated fat is so important for bile flow. It's so important for your body being able to build cholesterol. Cholesterol is essential. The majority of your brain tissue is made of cholesterol. Your whole nervous system is encased in myelin, which is literally almost 100% cholesterol. Cholesterol is so important, and it's really important that we provide the body with the ingredients that it needs to make cholesterol, and this is saturated fat. And coconut oil is, for the majority, saturated fat. A large portion of this saturated fat comes in the form of lauric acid, which, believe it or not, is actually the precursor to something called monolaurin, which is one of the primary ingredients in breast milk. How incredible is that? One of these very gentle foods that feeds a baby, the precursor to that nutrient is available in coconut. You just couldn't make this stuff up. It's really incredible. Next, another very important feature of the fat composition of coconut oil is that it is about 50% MCTs, medium chain triglycerides. MCTs are they're just amazing. They're just so good. So MCTs are basically a type of fat that, one, doesn't require digestion. So if you have problems with bile flow, if you have like congested bile, if you don't have your gallbladder for some reason, MCTs are really easy for your body to absorb. It doesn't need bile. They literally just absorb straight into the body. And even better than that, when they absorb, they go to your liver. And normally, when your liver is processing fat, it has to break the fats down. So it takes these big, long chains of fat. So this is like in your tallow, in your lard, your pig fat, in your butter, or even your olive oil. Your body has to take these big chains of fat and kind of package them up in triglycerides so it can send them around the body, because we can't just have fat floating around in our blood. It doesn't work. The body has to do a lot of work to take these fats and turn them into like a deliverable fat that can go to the cells to be turned into energy. Your body doesn't have to do this with MCTs. MCTs can basically just go straight to wherever they need to go. And they basically work like ketones, like ketone bodies. So they actually have this effect where they boost your ability to go into a ketogenic state. So if you're doing intermittent fasting or any sort of short-term prolonged fasting, or even doing a ketogenic diet, having MCTs actually makes it way easier for your body to transition into that ketogenic fat adapted state. And if that wasn't enough alone, the composition of these MCTs is caprylic, caproic, and capric acid. And believe it or not, I'm actually such a big nerd. I didn't have to research that. I know it off the top of my head because I've done my research on coconut oil. And the thing about these compounds is they are amazing. They are selectively antimicrobial, especially antifungal. So they have a very potent antifungal effect in your microbiome, but especially because these are more of a whole food form, instead of taking one isolated form, like for example, I wouldn't suggest just taking caprylic acid. I would actually take coconut oil or even just fresh coconut, because you're going to get these substances, but in a more balanced way. And again, microbiome, healing your gut isn't just about killing the bad guys. It's about creating an environment that encourages diversity and allows this diversity to flourish. So not a big fan of just directly killing things, but caprylic, caproic, and capric acid have very potent antifungal effects, which fungal overgrowth tends to be a big problem for a lot of people with mold exposures, with the overuse of antibiotics, with a lot of sugar and fine carbohydrates in the diet. So just adding coconut oil has an amazing, very natural, inhibitory effect on fungal growth. So that was just us talking about the coconut oil alone. And if you're not sold on coconut products, I don't know what I could say that is going to convince you. But I do have a couple more points on some other things that come from coconut. So I am still going to try and convince you because, in my opinion, this is just top tier healing food. Next, if you look at the flesh of the coconut, it is quite a fibrous compound. And this can be a bit problematic for some sensitive guts. Like for me, the thing that my digestive system, even today, struggles with the most is these very high fiber raw foods. So like nuts, seeds, coconut flesh would be a really good example of something that is a little bit more difficult for me to digest. But if your gut is strong or robust enough in a way that it can handle these types of raw fibers, coconut flesh is amazing. It has all of the benefits of the coconut oil that I just talked about. And it also has a very powerful anti-parasitic effect. The types of fibers and the composition of these fibers is actually really good for mechanically stripping parasites out of your digestive system. This is because the fiber is quite hard and it's quite a harsh fiber. So this is why it can be really nice if you are dealing with parasites, especially the bigger parasites like worms or flukes or these organisms that will almost like adhere to the wall of the gut, like they like bite and hold on to that. Because it mechanically just comes past or kind of like smashes into it. But because of this, it is a bit hard on the gut lining as well. So if your gut's a little bit sensitive, maybe avoid the flesh. It depends. It's all about context. This is the thing with healing. It's all about context. But if you can tolerate it, it's really nice to help knock some of these parasites out. And now probably my favorite part, maybe I'm a bit biased, but over my journey, I must have been maybe like 1,000 kilograms of coconut oil. And I've probably at this point drunk about 10,000 liters of coconut water. I have drank so much coconut water. It is insane. This is the next thing that we're going to talk about. Coconut water, in my experience, is the single best thing that you can add to your healing regime if you struggle with hydration whatsoever. Now, I think the reason for this is the fact that hydration is difficult when your body is in a stress adapted state. So if you have this cell danger response, if your body is in a state of depletion, is burning through your electrolytes really fast, especially things like potassium. Things that deplete potassium more than anything else are excessive exercise or sweating, chronic stress state or a cell danger response, and adrenal fatigue, because you basically will just urinate all of your electrolytes out. Another thing that's really worth noting is if you are on a ketogenic or carnivore diet, it makes it really hard for your body to retain certain minerals, especially sodium and potassium. And this is why you get the keto flu adaptation, where you get the bad breath and you're urinating all of the time. This is your body trying to rebalance its electrolytes. But I find there are some people, especially those with adrenal fatigue, with POTS, with very poor tolerance to stress, that are chronically dehydrated, and a large portion of this is coming from a potassium deficiency. The thing about potassium is basically impossible to get enough from supplements because they're limited, that they only provide about 100 milligrams per dose. So if you've got an electrolyte, you're like, oh, I take electrolytes, I should be really well hydrated. Go and look at your electrolytes. I bet that they don't contain more than 100 milligrams per dose. And the problem is we're supposed to be taking about 4,700 milligrams of potassium every single day. So this is a lot. This is the equivalent of like 47 doses of your average electrolyte. And it's honestly just one of the nutrients in food that is really, really hard to get enough of consistently. In this regard, coconut water is the true MVP because it is the easiest way to get potassium in the diet, especially because it's a liquid. There are some foods that are higher in potassium, but for example, avocados, they tend to be very difficult for a lot of people to eat because they're high in histamine, they're high in FODMAPs. Like a lot of people cannot eat avocados. If you can, great, we've got a good source of potassium. A lot of people can't. And coconut water is just amazing because in 1 liter of coconut water, you're going to get over 2,000 milligrams of potassium. So you're getting about half of your RDA just from 1 liter of coconut water. There really is nothing that compares to it. I also find that because coconut water has some coconut sugar in it, as you probably know, it tastes naturally sweet. One of the reasons that a lot of electrolyte powders actually have sugar in isn't just because it makes it taste better, but it's because it actually improves your body's ability to absorb the water and the electrolytes that are present in it. So coconut water already knows this. Coconut water is designed by nature. It is divinely intelligent. It has the potassium, it has the sugar, and it has the water all in the right balance. The potassium and the complex of how coconut water works has done so much for me, and I see it doing so much for other people as well. And again, this is the miracle of the coconut. It is just amazing. And if all of this wasn't enough, we've got one final benefit, and this benefit is just amazing. It's very hard to say it's better than the rest because all the others have been so good, but this is a really, really nice benefit. So this is that one of the best places that we can source activated charcoal is from organic coconut husks. It's one of the best sources, and it makes one of the best quality activated charcoals that you can get. And in my experience, activated charcoal is probably my absolute top tier binder. It is the binder that I prefer to use myself. I literally have a pot of activated coconut charcoal right next to my bed. I've got a little supplement case that I carry around with me to take my supplements if I'm eating out. I always have activated coconut charcoal in there. It is one of the best binders. And surprise, surprise, where does it come from? It comes from the husk, so the outer kind of casing of a coconut. So the whole coconut, all the way through, the fiber, the fat, the liquid, even the kind of like the useless case on the outside, you wouldn't think it's very useful. We actually make a really good activated charcoal out of it. Coconut is just an absolute miracle food. So now I'd be really interested to hear from you. Of all of these benefits that I listed today, which of these have you already been using? And if you haven't been using any of them, let me know in a comment below. What are you going to try? Are you going to try some coconut oil? Are you going to try and add some activated charcoal? Are you going to try and add some coconut water? What are you thinking? What do you think you're going to try? Because I personally, I use all of these. I eat the flesh, probably the least, because it's a little bit harder on my gut, but I have coconut oil. I actually have eaten so much coconut oil in the past. I drink coconut water every single day, and I use activated charcoal as and when I need it. But I'd be really interested to hear from you. What are you doing? What are you using from a coconut? And is there anything in here that I missed that you think I should have mentioned? Because I think I know a lot about coconuts, but maybe there's something that I don't know. So if you know it, make sure you let me know below. But that's everything for me today. So take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.